Houston, say again, please.
Houston, we've had a problem.
Hey there folks, welcome you all to part 5 of The Lord of the Rings, War in the North on the PlayStation 3. Let's crack straight in. We're at the end of part 4. Get back to the Barrow Downs. I think we're at the tail end of it, to be fair. The only thing I did off camera was I went back into the guy in the shop and just bought a couple of health potions or something. Ubered up a bit there with our armour and weapons and stuff. And we've got some sockets free if we pick up any more of those sockety items that give us perks. We've got about +5 on those boots strength now. It's a massive boost, isn't it? Not to mention our new sword. And bow that does slow. We'll try that out. Sword's a beast, isn't it? The Barrow Downs. If that's not a boss fight waiting to happen, I don't know what
More Wights are upon us!
Beware the swirling stones!
Oh, this guy's back again.
Stand and fight together!
Yeah, the slow doesn't work on him. Got the measure of me there. Alright. Got a fair bit of health, I think.
It's time to put an end to you!
Ooh. This boat is serious
We
damage.
strike as one!
Go on, don't me.
Here! Healing!
You're my favourite. Oh, there he is.
I have no more.
Here, my friends! Gather for the
Get good news. And full health, thank you. You're awesome. You gave me 2 domes there. I love you. Will you marry me? If I remember rightly, she was actually one of the more fun characters to play as because she's so uber to play as.
If I read the signs right, Luin and Kilaran fought a battle here as well. And look here, the broken shards of a ranger's sword. I know this
Nice. Tracker.
belonged to Kilaran.
This is proof your comrades were here.
Clocking up the T's, people.
The tracks show where 2 bodies were dragged to the entrance of that large barrow.
Were they living or dead?
That I cannot say.
Oh. There's no real warning that you're about to jump an entire area when you do that. Sometimes it just fades away and you keep running. Other times it ends the level. It's a good level, that, though. Always enjoyed that level. Barrow of Amon Gorthad. Still on for the missing rangers, aren't we?
This tomb makes my blood run chill.
This is no place for living men. Let's find my friends.
Let's hope we're not too late.
Overly sure that I was able to pick that up. It's 5 not the most I can pick up. I had a level up for a bit. Feels like. Brilliant. Just paid out for that hood and I've just picked one up that's a little bit better. But ours has got a socket on it. And the durability was 40 and that's only 80. So I might stick with what we've got. For the sake of 1 armour, the slot might actually give us better perks. Same with that. It's got a slot that's got better armour. Don't have anything to put in these slots at the moment. How have I picked up a weapon? It's a club.
The signs are clear. Rangers were once here. They left some useful items.
Oh, shipwright greatsword. That's a 2-hander, isn't it? And it's a green one. 110 to 120, so plus 40 power. Yeah. That's quite sweet, isn't it? But the upper level of our possible damage is 142 in the other one. So it's durability is only 60 on it as well. Shame actually, it's really nice, quite elvenish, isn't it? I think we'll stick with that one. Upper damage is better. Anything else down here? This house is clean. Calm yourself, Barry. Nice, could do a top up of arrows to be fair. 36 at the minute. It's a bit too quiet for my liking, I was going to say. Key required. Came down from there. Didn't it? Two ways to look.
You face a ranger now!
You stuck, mate. Didn't even notice that chest. Like a rock.
Servants of the enemy, beware!
Not far off the level up. Sometimes you get the clocks down
We
there.
strike as one!
You just cannot get the yellow symbol above the head to finish them off. Ooh, ancient key, that'll do. Got a crossbow for Marin. Guardsman. That's probably just put it on straight away, you never know.
Continue through that door.
Yeah, you put it on straight away. Clunked. Really?
Let us stand and fight together! You face a ranger now!
Good way of milking some XP if they keep coming, but I think the house is clean. They just leveled up, as did we. Let's take a look. Oh, I'm so tempted just to go to 20 strength. Only puts your health up by 5, but can help. Right, I thought I'd made a decision here. Oh yeah, wait. Reduces cooldown times of active skills, which we are using a lot of now. Well, the two I've got on. While blocking, press L1 to rush ahead. No. Alright, you can add a point at any level here, I think. So that's each killing blow grants a temporary strength bonus. While blocking, that's quite good, isn't it? You keep clocking that up in a big fight, you'd be uber as you go. Reduces cooldown times. That's dual-handed. Pretty sure that requires dual-handed. Or not. Oh yeah, it requires dual-wielding. There you go. So you can add points to it, but it won't do anything unless you've got a sword in each hand. Or we start clocking up some of this. Hold and release R1 to fire an arrow with greater power. So we can start clocking our bow up actually. What moves have we got? Multiple arrows that automatically seek visible targets. Fire an arrow that stuns your target. Yeah, start mixing them now, can't I? Allows you to use normal attacks while evasion is active without being revealed. That stuff could be pretty handy, couldn't it? Enables automatic health and power regeneration while evasion is active. Hero mode. R2 and circle to temporarily evade enemy sight. That'd be quite handy if I'm low on health, couldn't it? I should really have unlocked each of these individually just for the sake of it. So let's do that on the next 2 points, just so we've got the extra moves. Might go for the evasion one first and get the arrow one next, for all that we're using arrows at the minute. Mind you, yeah, that's right, that's why I've only got those moves in that bottom corner there, because I haven't unlocked the other two. Well, the other one now. So if I hit circle,
I'll take them unaware.
I go invisible for a bit. We could do with the cooldown though, couldn't we? Being quicker. Right, we've got a key now. Far too sidetracked there. Pretty sure this is where we came in because everything's been broken. And then we had to go. One had chest in it, the other had the key in it. Straight through. This game holds up really well, considering this is on the PS3 without any, you know, it's not like it's on back compat or anything. It is how it was on the PS3. And I remember it did look a little bit crisper on, I remember it being just a bit 360. Still looks great. Played it. It's still tremendous fun.
Servants of the enemy, beware! It's a Dunedain now!
He's so awesome, he loots while he's fighting.
You're no match for me!
Enter the sphere of light and be healed.
Oh, I think she puts it down if I can. Auto regen just in general, am I? You have to be in that way.
You face a ranger now!
Excellent. But, we've got 7 health now, so the limit isn't 5. Keep running past chests that dark. Quarterstaff. Staff for her, but can't imagine it's better than the one that I've just given. I'm pretty sure it's not better than the one that she had. Can't tell though, can I? I think I'll just sell it. Pretty sure the one that I gave is way better than that. The gift that was given to us. Yeah, here we go. layer down. Oh, right, right here. Come on, team, you need to concentrate on the way behind you. Might have enough arrows to take it down, actually. Keep my dome up, keep my dome up. There he goes. Key spot. Almost better keep, well, for those sort of bosses anyway, just hanging on to your arrows as best you can. Right, well, we can go back to thingy, but I don't think we need to. Can just sell a few bits, to be fair. Back up to nearly $3,000 anyway. I'm not sure, is there anything worth seeing the durability on the... yeah. Everything seems to be not so bad, doesn't it? Blimey, that felt very Skyrim-y in that room there. Oh dear. Seems to be somebody lying in the middle of the room here.
Luin. He lives. Can you hear me, Luin? Awake!
No strength can prevail against this sickness. What good are swords in the face of this plague? What wasn't the name of... Eredon?
Yes, it's me, my friend.
I have been dreaming.
Very good. You spoke of a plague.
As you awoke, you said something about a plague. What did you mean?
I don't know. It was as if I was someone else. I remember a plague and despair.
The Great Plague. Nearly 300 years ago, it devastated the Dunedain of this region. You were sharing the dreams of those for whom this tomb was made.
Well, let those dreams remain with the dead. I want no more of them.
We should escape this Barrow. Are you strong enough to walk?
But if I was brought living into this tomb, then the same would be true for Kilaran. We need to find him.
That's what we intend to do. Are you strong enough to join us?
Yes, I think I can keep up with you.
Nice.
Let's go before any more dead things decide to turn up.
Well, that's going to happen anyway. Potion, good grief, we've got 7 of them now. I'm getting a little bit more clever with them actually. I'm rushing into using them as I have to. I've also got the hide thing actually. Yeah, I remember not as good as what we've got on. It's got a slot on it though. But nowhere near as good in the armor front. think I'd rather have them all in clumps like this rather than doing 3 steps. You can build up my arrows again. I'll put 40 back.
Fight me if you dare! Down with you, vermin! It's Kilaran!
Uh-oh. Ooh, right. Some sort of race.
What's happened to him?
Rangers, hear me! The Barrow Wights controls him! Defend yourselves! We must strike them down!
He's a friend! I cannot!
The man you knew is dead! This is but a cruel trick! Defend yourselves! Here, to me if you need healing!
I've not heard of it. I'm meant to do that.
Face a Dunedain now! Do you fear to face what?
God's sake.
It's time to put an end to you!
Still to see his remains desecrated in this manner. But at least now he is at rest. But you, how are you bearing up?
First Black Riders, now Barrow Wights. This is more than men should have to contend with. But where there is life, there is hope. Thanks for your concern, but I will be all right. I owe it to those who have fallen to go on as best I may.
Deserve some reward.
We've gathered many rich treasures from this tomb. You certainly deserve a share.
Thanks, but it would only serve to remind me of all of this. You keep what you have won.
You've been through a terrible ordeal. Perhaps you should come with us to Rivendell. Or we could take you to Bree. It's not far away.
No, I feel my strength returning. I'll soon be myself again. And then I will bear Kilaran's body away from these tainted tombs. He should be buried with the rest of his brothers who fell at Sarn Ford.
That would be fitting. I hope that he will rest in peace. Farewell, Luin. It's a hard thing to see a good friend slain, and harder still to see his remains desecrated in this manner. But at least now he is at rest. But you, how are you bearing up?
First Black Riders, now Barrow Wights.
Well, why are we getting the same?
This is more than men should have to contend with.
The Barrow Wights have been driven out. The way back to the surface is now clear. I trust you will be able to make your own way back to the Sarn Ford.
Oh, hello. There's a bunch of stuff on it. So that's where we're going to be going. I think there's a few pickups around these here parts. Restock. Got 9 health now. I've got the right real health there, hadn't I? To be fair, she's been doing really well, giving me a dome of healing. You gotta love it when the big loot from big enemies isn't as good as what you've got on. That's for Le Champion. Requires 18 will. 2 stamina, plus 2 stamina, and reduced damage plus 3. Oh, well, hang on to it for now. Well, we've got a nice pair of pants eventually. It's a big jump, nearly 10. 9 to be exact. Durability's not quite as good, but it's a big jump in armour. The Barrow of Amon Gorthad. Oh, it looks like we're on to Rivendell. As that be what the picture is. And I'm pretty sure that's the Rivendell from the movie as well.
Eredon, it is good to see you safe. Elladan and Elro here told us of your actions at Fornost. Such courage and skill brings honor to all the Dunedain.
Indeed. It is an honor to welcome one so brave to my home, and your companions as well.
I am grateful for what you did at Fornost. If Agandar's forces had joined in the hunt, there is little chance that I and my charges would have made it here to safety.
It's good lip syncing in these cutscenes.
I thank you for the welcome. Are you the master of these halls?
Yes, I am Elrond Half-Elven, Lord of the Refuge of Imladris, or as you know it, Rivendell.
Half-Elven. What does that signify?
Both my sire, Earendil, and my mother, Elwing, had fathers who were of the Edain, the most noble of the men of old. They and their descendants are called the Parenthil, which means the Half-Elven.
Are you then of mortal kind, like other men?
To each of the Parenthil is given a choice, whether to become mortal or to accept the life of the Eldar, the elves. Long ago, I chose to be counted among elven kind. My own children will face this choice as well.
What befell you after we parted company at Bree, Aragorn?
I found the hobbit Frodo Baggins and his companions and led them through the wilderness, hoping to throw the Nazgul off our trail. All the same, 5 of them attacked our camp at Weathertop, and Frodo was badly wounded. After that, the enemy pursued us almost to the hidden pathways of Rivendell itself. We never would have saved Frodo, except that we had the help of Elrond and his people.
How did you manage to escape them?
The river of this valley is under the power of Elrond, and it will rise in anger when there is need to bar the ford. As the Black Riders attempted to pursue Frodo across the river, they were swept away in a great flood.
I still cannot understand why the most dreaded servants of the enemy would pursue a hobbit in this manner.
I think it is time we told our newfound friends what they have gotten themselves into.
They're all pitching up now, eh, Gandalf?
Gandalf? So you are involved in this as well?
Indeed. Wherever there is trouble and strife, and the enemy is stirring, there you will find Gandalf the Grey.
Well then, can you explain why the enemy is so eager to get his hands on a poor little hobbit?
You have more than earned such an explanation. Tell me, what do you know of Isildur's Bane?
Isildur's Bane? That is another name for the Ring of Power.
Quite right. The Ring of Power. The One Ring. The ruling ring. After lying lost and nearly forgotten for centuries, Sauron's ring has once again been found.
Do you mean to say the halfling Aragorn rescued has come into possession of the Dark Lord's ring?
Small wonder the Dark Lord sent his deadliest servants to search for it. What will become of the ring now?
There is no safe resting place for the ring, not even here in Imladris. It is a danger to all who come near to it. There is only one course left to us. The ring must be destroyed.
To do so, the ring will need to be cast into the same fires from which it was forged. Those of Mount Doom, in the land of Mordor. The hobbit, Frodo Baggins, has agreed to take it there.
You're not going to send a hobbit off to Mordor alone.
No, certainly not. A fellowship will be formed. A fellowship of 9. 9 walkers set against Sauron's 9 black riders. Among this fellowship will be representatives of all the free peoples of the world. Elves, dwarves, and men. Aragorn and I will both be going.
What can the rest of us do to assist you?
The Nazgul and Agandaur are dire threats. We must learn all we can of their movements before the Fellowship is to depart. Scouts will be sent out in every direction to scour the lands around Rivendell. Your aid in this would be of great service to our cause.
Very well. Where should we start?
Agandaur is our chief concern. Although the Nazgul are powerful foes, our mission here in the north is abundantly clear. We can only guess what Agandaur may be planning, or where he went after he escaped from you.
I suspect he may be planning to move against us here. Sauron's hatred of the elves is very great, and he does not forget the hand we played in his defeat during the War of the Last Alliance.
If it is strength he wants, he may well find it among the Ettenmoors.
You know that region better than I. What can you tell me of the Ettenmoors?
The Ettenmoors are a spur of the Misty Mountains, lying almost directly north of Rivendell. It is a wild region of very rugged terrain, home to many trolls and giants.
I myself was in the Ettenmoors but days ago. I saw no sign of Agandaur's presence, but neither did I encounter trolls. That fact alone is troubling. It could be that they are gathering in force, somewhere among the moors.
If so, it is best we learn of it before they can take us by surprise. We will scout the Ettenmoors to see what we can discover.
From what I have heard of you, from Aragorn and Elrond's sons, I expected no less. Still, you have had a long road and hard fighting to get this far. Take what time you need to rest and recover before you set out. The Ettenmoors are a dangerous place for the unprepared.
The hospitality of my house is yours, for as long as you wish.
They did a really beautiful job of Rivendell. I remember it being quite stunning the first time I played it. Woo. Trusted with the secret. Lovely.
Ah, Eredan. It is good of you to seek me out. You have grown into a fine man of the Dunedain. Your recent deeds of valor have proven your worth.
The Dunedain kingdom of Arnor fell long ago. There's nothing left in much of the north save ruins. Why would Sauron build a force here?
Sauron seeks dominion over all of Middle-earth. His desire is to order all things as he sees fit. Even were these lands empty from here to the sea, still he would seek to control them. There is power in Rivendell that could stand against him when all others fall, for a time. And this is something Sauron cannot allow.
For years I've patrolled the Shire at Aragorn's orders. I worry it may not be safe for me to abandon that duty.
Aragorn knows where you are most needed, Eredan. With the flight of the ring in this direction, the enemy is looking this way, and has forgotten the Shire for now. For now. But eventually his eye will turn once again toward the Shire, as humble as it is. Hobbits as miserable slaves would please him far more than hobbits happy and free. And there is such a thing as malice and revenge. Sauron will leave the final devastation of the Shire to his servant Agendaur. And that is yet another reason why you must find him and put an end to his designs. In opposing Agendaur, you are defending the Shire.
At Fornost, one of the great eagles came to our aid. Perhaps the eagles could help with the ring.
I don't fault you for thinking along those lines. Why not beg a ride from an eagle, fly far out to the west, and drop the ring into the deepest part of the sea? Such ideas were debated at Elrond's council. But there are many things in the deep waters, and seas and lands may change. We cannot think of our time alone. We must destroy this thing forever.
Then have an eagle fly Frodo directly to Mount Doom.
Indeed. So simple as that. You think so mighty a creature as one of the great eagles could simply waft into Mordor and escape the eye that never sleeps? No, not all the eagles of the Misty Mountains could stand against Sauron and the full power of his ring-wraiths. It would be folly. Nor, for that matter, do the great eagles take orders from us.
Well, that's that mystery solved.
This man, Agendaur, have you ever had word of him before?
Well, I know nothing of Agendaur himself. I have seen his kind at other times in distant lands. He is likely a black Númenorian, and a master of dark sorceries.
That would make him distant kin to the Dunedain. I thought they'd long ago faded into myth. It also means he's more dangerous than I thought.
Who can say what promises Sauron has made to him? Perhaps even a ring of his own. At the very least, Agendaur expects to rule all of the North. He would be a cruel tyrant. The elves he will seek to utterly destroy. Hobbits, men, dwarves, any that survive, will be enslaved. And he will raise an iron kingdom in the north, in mockery of the ancient glory of Arnor. This is his dark dream. It must never come to pass.
When first we spoke, you said you recently passed through the Ettenmoors. Can you tell me more?
It is a rough and empty land, home to many trolls. I passed through with great haste, for I needed to reach Rivendell as quickly as I could.
And you saw no sign of trolls?
I saw neither trolls nor fresh signs of them, and that disturbs me more than encountering one. I doubt they've all packed up and left. Mindless brute creatures they may be, yet they can be used and driven to even greater wickedness by a strong enough hand. Agendaur could well be forming them into an army.
You believe he is mustering the trolls for an attack?
That is my fear. I would gladly be proven wrong, but my heart misgives me that somewhere in the Ettenmoors you will find them gathering and being prepared for war. We must know. Such a force could be sent against Rivendell, perhaps in hopes of capturing the ring.
Then I'll gather my friends and scout the moors. We'll learn the truth of the matter.
Quite in depth, like the conversations go quite deep. I mean, that's certainly good. I can't remember if they all do, but pretty sure Liv Tyler's character does, and let's see what this dude's got to say. It's quite interesting how they linked it all.
Greetings to you, Eradan. I am pleased to welcome you to my home. I had heard your name spoken with praise by Aragorn even before these recent events. You have more than proven the value of his judgment. The Dunedain are often our guests here in Imladris, but I would be pleased if you would consider this house as your home whenever you may have need of it. But I gather you are here for more than an exchange of pleasantries. Do you have questions for me?
I found this scroll at Fornost. I thought it best to bring it to your attention.
A wise decision. This is writ in the black speech of Mordor, a language I will not utter here. It is intended to instruct the reader in the use of dark sorceries.
If there is power to be gained from this scroll, should we not make use of it ourselves?
Have a care, Dunedain. You tread on dangerous ground when you harbor such thoughts. This, like all works of the enemy, is altogether evil. Any who make use of this, even from a desire to do good, will only be corrupted by it. Surely the ring has taught us that much.
What is the Black Speech?
A language devised by Sauron when he desired a single tongue to be spoken by all who serve him. He had small luck introducing it to the scattered tribes of orcs and trolls, but it is still used by his highest-ranking servants.
Then it is good that we captured this from the enemy before it could cause further harm. What will become of it?
I will destroy this scroll at the very least. But wait, here I discover more. Listen to what is written herein. Scribed by the hand of Agandaur, disciple of the great Lord Sauron, for the empowerment of his servant Wulfrun and those others of his faithful who prove worthy. I will speak no more of these blasphemies, but it does say that this scroll is one of 7 such works.
Seven at the time of this writing. But could it be that Agandaur has created more since?
Perhaps, but creating something of this nature is not a matter of simple scribing. Considerable preparation and effort is involved. We have reason to hope there are no more than 7.
So 6 more remain. Perhaps we can capture them as well.
That would be a great service to our cause. Should you recover them all, bring them to me, and I will ensure they are destroyed.
Why not destroy any I find immediately? Burn them or tear them to shreds.
You will find that works of this sort are not so easily destroyed. There are strong wards placed upon them that protect them from mundane harm. But I have the necessary skill to remove these wards. Should you gather the remaining scrolls, bring them to me, and I will see them destroyed.
I don't know, like, Andriel's pretty powerful. She always throws up a nice healing dome for me.
I will be certain to do so.
In the meantime, please accept this in appreciation for bringing this matter to my attention.
Shiny.
Perhaps it will be of service to you in your travels.
Thank you and farewell for now.
Very well. Ooh, choice reward. What we got, what we got? Map fragment of Fangorn Forest. Fangorn Forest, home to the Ents, has been added to your map. Alright. Yeah, just potions. Potion of hardiness, efficiency elixir. Health, temporary benefits when consumed. Health ×2. Duration 60 minutes. One potion for all that hard work. What is he on about? Capture Agandaur's scrolls of sorcery. Right, let's have a wander about, see who else is kicking a boot. Gorgeous, like, fantastic detail they've gone into. There's the 2 guys that were helping us.
The sun shines and all is fair and peaceful here in Imladris. A far cry from the blood and dust of Fornost, is it not? You and your companions did very well there. Indeed, things might have gone badly for us had you not been there. You have earned some time to recover from the toils of battle and hard travel. And I believe you will find no place better for the restoration of body and spirit than this, our home.
How was it you happened to be at Fornost?
We often ride far afield hunting the orcs wherever we may find them. We came upon signs of a large band of goblins making their way from the orc hold of Mount Gram and followed their trail to Fornost, where we lost no time in attacking them.
Aragorn frequently travels and fights beside you, does he not?
Yes, we often venture forth in company with the Dunedain, and none more frequently than Aragorn. He was raised here in our household, after all.
How is it that a man came to be raised here among elves?
It is a tradition for the heirs of Isildur to be fostered in the House of Elrond. We have sheltered all the chieftains of the Dunedain from the time the Northern Kingdom ceased to be down to this present day. Aragorn is the 16th in line from father to son to spend his early years in Imladris. This is one reason why the bond between our two peoples is so strong.
Will you tell me more about your family? I know Elrond is your father.
Yes, it was he who established the refuge of Imladris. My brother and I have dwelt here all our lives. Our sister Arwen dwells here as well, although she has spent many years in the company of our grandmother.
What of your mother? Does she dwell here also?
Our mother has crossed the sea and left Middle-earth. It is a bitter tale to tell. Many years past, on a journey across the Misty Mountains, our mother was captured by orcs. We searched the mountains without rest until we found her at last. Our father was able to heal her injuries, but the memory of her torment was too terrible for her to bear. At last she chose to depart for the Undying Lands. Perhaps now you understand why our hatred for the orcs is so great.
That is a sad tale. I am sorry to have reminded you.
No, my friend. We have drawn swords together in the same cause. You have earned our trust. We do not wish to keep anything hidden from you. This is the evil that we have pledged our lives to destroy, just as you have.
I may be in need of a few things before we set out. Is there anyone I can speak to about that?
If it is provisions or other supplies you need, you should speak with Alari. And if your arms and armor need tending, seek out Angmir. Both of them may be found nearby.
I wish you luck. Goodbye.
Fare you well. Pans beautifully in this area as well. It's gorgeous. Gimli!
I thought it rare to find one dwarf so far from home. Yet here is another. If I may say, there's something about you that reminds me of my companion Farin.
Gimli, son of Gloin, at your service. Your eyes serve you well, Ranger. Farin is indeed a kinsman of mine, and a most valiant dwarf. And if I may say, your own fame has gone before you. You fought well at Fornost, and I hear much praise of your exploits. Most impressive, though of course you had Farin's help.
I must concede the usefulness of a dwarf in battle. He wields his weapon to good effect, as long as he stays clear of my knees.
Useful? I dare say you'll find him more than useful. Why, he's a hero of the Battle of the Five Armies. Men, elves, and dwarves against orcs and goblins. And many an orc has felt the caress of his axe.
Farin said no word of other kin coming to join him. What brings you here to Imladris?
Aye, it's a long march from the halls of Erebor, but grim news goes on swift feet. It was for Bilbo's sake we came, with a warning that the servants of Sauron wished to find him and his ring. Thrice a Black Rider came to the front gate of Erebor, demanding news of Bilbo, and threatens to return once more. Ere that should happen, King Dain sent my father, Gloin, to seek the advice of Elrond. You've heard the results of the council? I see you have. I have sworn to protect Frodo upon his quest, an oath I will fulfill though all the orcs of Middle-earth stand in my way.
You're bold to defy a Nazgul if it was indeed one of the 9 who came to your door.
Not one of the Nazgul, I think, but it was a fell servant all the same, who spoke in a voice like the hissing of snakes. What sort of man can serve the enemy willingly, even gladly, is beyond my understanding. More cruel than any orc he struck me, full of venom and lies.
Your words fit Agandaur well. His cruelty knows no bounds.
Could it be so? Perhaps. It is enough that we will not be deceived by promises from Mordor ever again. The only way the Dark Lord gets his ring back this time is when it's tossed into the fires of Mount Doom.
Erebor, the Lonely Mountain. I've heard tales of it. Were you there at the downfall of Smaug?
Sadly, no. I was far to the west in the Blue Mountains where I was born, for my father deemed me too young to join him on Thorin's quest. But once the dragon was destroyed, I hurried with many of my kin to settle there. I've labored some 70 years to restore what was lost and helped build anew the city of Dale from the ruins of the Dragonfire. I've seen the bones of Smaug upon the lake bottom where he fell. Did you know that Bilbo exchanged riddles with the dragon? Now that's a tale he should tell you. We owe much to that fine old hobbit.
Do you know Frodo well?
I know only that he is Bilbo's adopted heir, and that he is chosen of his own free will to bear and destroy the ring. That's all I need to know. I'll protect him to my final breath if need be.
Elrond has asked us to scout the Ettenmoors. But what is it that worries you about the north?
I like not what I've heard of this Agandaur you drove from Fornost. He could yet cause grief untold. There are rumors of gatherings of orcs, goblins, and other deadly foes growing in strength. When the Dark Lord strikes, there will be more than one land that feels his wrath. I fear for the Shire and Rivendell. It would ease my heart to know that you'll look to the defense of the North for as long as you're needed. With help from Faran, of course.
For my part, you have my word on it. And I have no doubt your trustworthy kinsman and Andriel will stand by my side.
Nice. It would be nice to put your sword away though. There's Gloin. That's Gimli's dad, isn't it?
Well met, friend. It's an honor to make the acquaintance of one of Farin's valiant companions. I'm Gloin, son of Groin from the Lonely Mountain.
And one of Bilbo's companions in the quest to slay the dragon Smaug. It's an honor to meet such a famous dwarf. I'm Eredon of the Dunedain.
I heard about that business at Sarn Ford, and they say the 3 of you brought down an orc chieftain at Fornost. I expect I'll be hearing of even greater deeds before long. It does my heart good to see a dwarf, an elf, and a man working together again. Reminds me of the old days, it does, when the 3 kindred fought alongside one another in the Battle of the 5 Armies.
Then you approve of Farin's alliance with Andriel and me?
I will speak plainly. I may be less than fond of King Thranduil's wood elves for keeping me in their dungeons, but I've no grudge with any of Elrond's folk.
Yet in the Battle of the 5 Armies, it was Thranduil's elves who died alongside men and dwarves in battle.
You're right, of course. I can be a stiff-necked old dwarf, but it's time to set aside grievances that were long ago repaid. When dwarves, men, and elves fought together at Erebor, we overcame legions of foes. But we face a far more terrible enemy in the Dark Lord. Standing together against Agandaur may be more than just a good idea. It may be our only hope to save the North.
We must not forget the Great Eagles. They have been a great help to us, just as they were to you and your companions.
Well spoken. Thorin's quest and the Battle of 5 Armies would have met disaster without the help of the Eagles. You're fortunate to have gained the friendship of such noble creatures. Your life may well depend upon your choice of friends, whatever kindred they be.
Sauron's attention will be focused largely on the south. Perhaps if we thwart his plans here, it will distract him. That could benefit Frodo and the Fellowship on their quest.
That's my thoughts upon the matter, too. Be the stinging fly in the ointment, as it were. Only this fly's sting will be deadly. And it's time to be about your business. Goodbye, and good luck to you.
And to you, my friend. Whoa, is that Frodo? Oh, he is as well. Did I run right past him?
Hello. You are Aradan, aren't you? I was hoping I would get a chance to speak with you.
And you are Frodo Baggins. Aragorn and Gandalf have told me about you. And your burden.
Likewise, they have told me all about you. I wanted to thank you and your friends for all you did to keep us safe on our journey to Rivendell.
Will you tell me about your journey here? Clearly, it was not an easy one.
We had trouble almost from the start. The Black Riders were always just behind us, and we nearly met disaster in the Barrow Downs, at Bree, and again at Weathertop.
You entered the Barrow Downs? If you escaped from there, you are made of sterner stuff than I'd imagined. That is no place to go wandering.
You seem to know a great deal about the Barrow Downs already. I'd prefer not to speak about what we found there. It is too horrible to dwell on, even here in the safety of Rivendell.
What befell you in Bree? We must have just missed crossing paths there.
There were spies in Bree, and our room was attacked in the night. If Strider hadn't convinced us to sleep elsewhere, our journey would have ended then and there.
I am familiar with the ruin known as Weathertop. What happened there?
We were attacked by 5 of the Black Riders. I was foolish, and I put on the ring. One of them wounded me before Aragorn managed to drive them away. The knife that was used against me left a shard in the wound. From what Gandalf has told me, the fragment was working its way inward. If it had reached my heart, I would have become a wraith under the power of the Black Riders. Fortunately, we were able to reach Rivendell in time for Elrond's healing arts to save me.
It is a little thing, this ring, but filled with mischief. Will you show it to me?
No, I mean, I'm sorry, but Gandalf and Elrond have warned me against revealing the ring to anyone, even proven friends. I hope you understand.
I knew it was a bad question.
Yes, I believe I do begin to understand. It was wrong of me to ask. Forgive me.
There is nothing to forgive. But the ring, it has a strange effect on everyone around it. It is better for it to remain hidden.
It is indeed a heavy burden you bear, Frodo. May you find strength and wisdom on the long road ahead. Farewell.
I can only assume that... Oh, well, oh, hello. Friend to the ring bearer. Nice. Hey, Bilbo.
Hello, you are one of the Dunedain, are you not? Please allow me to introduce myself. Bilbo Baggins, at your service.
Aradan, at yours.
Always happy to meet one of the Guardians of the North. I've heard about what you and your friends did to help my Frodo and the Dunedain reach Rivendell safely. You'll have to tell me all about it one of these days so I can write it all down properly.
Tell me about Frodo. Is he your son?
Oh no, he's not my son. Actually, he's my first cousin once removed. And also my second cousin once removed. Well, it's complicated, but we share a great-grandfather. The poor lad was orphaned at an early age, and so I adopted him. Made him my heir, all nice and legal, while simultaneously dashing the greedy hopes of my odious relations, the Sackville Baggins. He's a good lad, Frodo. I only wish he hadn't inherited my troubles along with my estate. I hope that Gandalf and the Dunedain will keep him safe in the days ahead.
The Dunedain? In the Elvish, that signifies man of the West. One of my people.
Yes, indeed, but when I say it, I mean Aragorn, of course. The Dunedain, he is often called here. A remarkable man, Aragorn, and a good friend. I almost wish that I could accompany him on his grand quest, but I'm far too old for adventures now. I only hope I will be spared long enough to write it all down.
Can you tell me how Frodo came to be in possession of the Ring of Power?
Well, yes, that was through me, I'm afraid. I found the ring by happenstance while lost beneath the roots of the Misty Mountains. I won it. That is to say, I took it from the creature Gollum. Of course, I did not know the full story of the ring until only a few days ago. I thought it was merely a magical bauble with the power to make the wearer invisible. I only used it to avoid unwelcome visitors. Imagine that old ring of mine causing such a fuss. I would gladly take charge of it again if that would help. Oh, yes. Gladly. Yes. You know, I think it would be best if we discussed something else.
Now you call Rivendell your home?
Well, the Shire will always be my home, I suppose. But this is the perfect place for so many things that I'm more than content to remain here. My days are mostly filled with my writing now.
What is it you write?
Oh, a little of this and a little of that. History, my past adventures, family trees. I've even begun a book of translations from the Elvish, although lately I've been working on poetry mostly. Say, maybe you could help me with that. I'm writing a poem for Aragorn and I'm a bit stuck on a line or two.
Is that so? Well then, let me hear what you have.
Very well, very well. The verse that's giving me trouble runs like this. The light from the west is rekindled. Forth from Imladris it springs. Renewed is the hope that has dwindled.
The light from the west is rekindled. Forth from Imladris it springs. Renewed is the hope that has dwindled. To challenge the Lord of the Rings.
Hey now, that's not bad. No, maybe I can work with that. You missed your calling, my friend. Perhaps you should put down your weapons and take up a pen.
One day, perhaps. But for now, we have more need of warriors than poets.
Oh, I'm afraid you're right, but since these old hands are not much use with the sword, I'll just keep on with the pen. Though I'll need some help. Perhaps you could show this to the Lady Arwen. She has her people's gift with words, and this touches her deeply after all.
Arwen? Who is she?
Why, she's Elrond's daughter, of course, and Aragorn's beloved as well. Although you didn't hear that from me, she's a sweet lady, and I'm sure she'd be willing to give me a hand with this.
I will take it to her.
Ah, thanks very much. Be sure to give her my compliments, won't you?
I will indeed. Farewell now.
I forgot how many of the characters were kicking around. There he is, Elvish friend. Is it? It is, I think. Legolas, yeah.
Pardon my curiosity, but you don't appear to be one of Elrond's people.
No, I am one of the woodland folk of Mirkwood. My name is Legolas Greenleaf, the son of Thranduil, king of the woodland realm. But I too am curious. You don't appear to be one of the men of Dale, nor one of the Beornings.
I'm Eridan, one of the Rangers of the North, the Dunedain.
Ah, one of those who follow Aragorn, son of Arathorn.
Tell me about Mirkwood.
Mirkwood is the greatest woodland in all of Middle-earth. It was called Greenwood the Great, before the shadow of Sauron fell over it. In ages past, it was a place of great beauty. But now, it is filled with darkness and dread, save only in the north where my father's realm is maintained.
What brought you on such a long and perilous journey?
Unpleasant business. My father sent me to report the escape of Gollum, a creature Aragorn had entrusted to our care.
What can you tell me about this Gollum?
A pathetic creature who long held the Ring of Power. The evil of the ring has left him twisted and tormented. His only thought is to recover what was taken from him.
How did Gollum manage to escape your guard?
Not from a lack of watchfulness, but perhaps from too much kindness. We occasionally allowed Gollum to go about the wood under close guard. But on one of these ventures, the guards were attacked by orcs from Dol Guldur. In the confusion, Gollum escaped. We followed his tracks southward for many leagues, until it drew near to Dol Guldur. There, it became too dangerous to pursue him any further.
What is this place, Dol Guldur?
A stronghold of the enemy in the south of Mirkwood. It was once the dwelling of the Dark Lord, until he was driven out in the year of the Dragon's Fall. But it has once again become a place of great evil. All the darkness that besets Mirkwood has its source in Dol Guldur.
Will you be departing for your home soon?
No. I have been chosen to represent Elvenkind among the Company of the Ring. I will be accompanying the halfling, Frodo Baggins, on his journey south.
It seems strange that with so many elves in his own household to consider, Elrond chose to make you a member of the Fellowship.
I asked for the privilege, and Elrond did not refuse me. I feel he may have been relieved not to lose any of his household to this quest. He will have need of all his strength, should the enemy move against Imladris.
I am curious why you would volunteer for this.
Partially to make amends for the loss of Gollum, but more so because this will be the final chapter in our long struggle against the darkness. And I wish to have a hand in our final victory. Or at least, to stand in the forefront of our last act of defiance.
May fortune favor your fellowship in the days ahead, Legolas.
Right, well, I think there might be Barrow still on the bridge here. Might as well see it through now. I think she's the last main character to talk to.
My Govanen, well met and welcome to the safe haven of Imladris.
My Govanen, Lady Arwen. It is a great honor.
The Dunedain are always welcome here. You have endured great danger and given us urgent warning of a new threat to the north. For this, we honor you, Eradan.
It is my duty as a ranger, nothing more. I am glad to be of service to my Lord Aragorn.
You show the modesty worthy of a hero. Estelle and my brothers have spoken highly of your courage at Fornost, and I thank you for your part in seeing to my brother's safe return. Please, take your ease and rest a while in our halls. You will find all your heart could desire, whether it be food, drink, song, or storytelling.
Estelle? The name means hope. But who is this Estelle you spoke of?
Forgive me. I forget that not all the Dunedain know of this. Estelle was the name given to your chieftain, Aragorn, as he grew up in Imladris.
It is a good name. How did he come to be known as Estelle?
As a ranger, you must know of the practice of bringing the child of a chieftain to Imladris to be fostered. But you may not know how great the danger was at the time. Aragorn was but 2 years of age when his mother, Gilrain, brought him here after his father was slain by an orc arrow, Isildur. Elrond became like a father to him. Knowing the enemy sought ever for a living heir of Isildur, he renamed the boy Estelle to keep his true name and lineage hidden. Aragorn was 20 before Elrond revealed these things to him and gave him tokens of his heritage. But he remains Estelle to me, for he is my heart's hope, even as he is the hope of the Dunedain.
The Dunedain are not given to idle gossip, but I have heard that you pledged yourself to Aragorn. It would be a joyous thing if true.
Long ago, I pledged myself to him beneath the golden boughs of Lothlorien, saying to him, "Dark is the shadow, and yet my heart rejoices, for you, Estelle, shall be among the great, whose valor will destroy it." Yet there is much pain in this choice, for I am Elrond's daughter and half-elven. To cleave to Estelle, I must forsake my immortal life and become mortal, accepting the bitter with the sweet. Even should Imladris endure this war, Elrond will leave Middle-earth, and we will be parted beyond the end of the world. It is the price I must pay to bring love and hope to Estelle, to Aragorn.
Would that I had the leisure to enjoy the peace of Imladris, but Elrond has asked me to scout the Ettenmoors. My companions and I must leave as soon as may be.
Then I will not keep you, but we may be of service to one another. I am helping my father brew a potion known as Miravor. One sip of Miravor can renew heart and soul, and bring new vigor to weary limbs. I am in short supply of certain rare ingredients that may be found in the Ettenmoors. If I gave you a list of the ingredients, perhaps you could bring any you find while carrying out your mission. With enough ingredients, I will return the favor by brewing an extra flask that you may have for your own use.
Gladly, Lady Arwen. That is a generous offer. Should I find what you require, I will return to you once my mission is complete.
Hang on a minute, because what about the thing for Bilbo?
My Govanen, Eridan, it is good of you to visit me again. My thoughts stray often to Estelle and my brothers, but also to you and your companions. I continue to brew Miravor, but I am concerned about our dwindling stocks. We still have need of those ingredients I spoke of before.
Ah, there we go. Bilbo's poem.
I have an errand I must not forget. Here is an unfinished poem from Bilbo. He asked for your opinion and advice, saying the subject is very close to your heart.
Then it must be about Estelle. He is fond of writing verses in honor of his good friend, and therefore often comes to me for advice. You may leave it with me, Eridan. I will give it some thought and answer him myself.
Thank you, lady. Perhaps the time will come when I can enjoy these gentle arts, but that time is not today. I must take my leave, lady. Namarie.
Alright, there we go. Hilivor crystals. Well, that turned into an epic episode. Miriloth Bloom. Mountain honey. How many does she want? Well, I think that's probably all the main characters spoken to, and that's our way out. So the only thing we haven't done, which we'll do in the next part, is go and check out the shop and the armourer, or blacksmith, what you want to call it. Pretty sure that was saved after that conversation. Absolutely beautiful, yeah. Check that out. Anyway, we've gone well over an hour and a half, people. Good grief, eh? It has been an honour and a privilege serving for you once again in The Lord of the Rings War in the North, and I shall see you all in the next one, folks. Take it easy. Bye.